Hey there. Ready to dig into something really fascinating? You know how tech seems to be changing everything these days?
It really does, doesn't it?
Well, get this. It's about to revolutionize farming. We're talking AI on the farm, and it's not sci-fi anymore.
Yeah, it's incredible how fast this is all developing. We're
Yeah.
really on the cusp of a transformation in agriculture.
Exactly. And to guide us, we're tapping into some research from ARK Invest. You know them.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
They're known for their analysis on disruptive tech, right?
Yeah.
And they put together a report on AI and agriculture. It's got my head spinning, all the possibilities. But first, got to understand the problem AI is trying to solve. It's a big one.
Right. Like, if you're a farmer, you're dealing with rising costs. Everything. Fertilizer, seeds, you name it. We're talking 80, even 250% increases since 2020, according to ARK.
250%? That's wild.
It's like your grocery bill quadrupling overnight.
Ouch.
Yeah, and imagine those costs skyrocketing while your output, the amount of food you're producing, stays the same. That's the reality for a lot of farmers right now.
Yeah, it's a tough equation. Rising costs, same amount of crops coming out. The USDA is predicting a big hit to farm income this year. Something's got to change.
It really has to.
And this is where AI comes in, maybe like a knight in shining armor.
That's the hope, at least. And what we're talking about, this fundamental shift, it's called precision agriculture, using technology, AI especially, to make farming more efficient.
Precision agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean? Like robots replacing farmers?
Not quite robots taking over, but it's a step in that direction. Imagine sensors in the field collecting data, soil moisture, plant health, even the nutrients in the soil.
Wow.
That data goes into an AI system, analyzes it in real time, and makes decisions about what each plant needs.
So instead of like a generic dose of fertilizer, it's more targeted.
Yes, like personalized medicine, but for plants.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just fertilizer, though, right?
Oh, no, not even close. AI can control irrigation, target weeds with herbicides, even figure out the best planting patterns.
Okay, that's starting to make more sense. But what about the tractors? What about these self-driving tractors I keep hearing about?
Oh, it's more than a gimmick. Companies like John Deere, the tractor company.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going all in on autonomous tech. Tractors that work 24/7, no breaks, never get tired. That's the promise of autonomy.
That's impressive. But I bet those tractors are really expensive.
They are, yeah, but there's this new idea of farming as a service. Instead of buying the whole tractor, farmers could subscribe to a service, like rent the AI features.
Ah, so you pay for the AI, not the whole machine. That makes it way more accessible.
Exactly, for farms of all sizes.
Okay, so you mentioned John Deere, and they're huge in farming, but they're not known for being super high tech other than tractors.
Yeah.
What kind of AI things are they developing?
Well, they've got this system, the ExactShot planter. It's amazing. Uses AI and sensors to analyze each seed in the soil, right there, in real time.
Wow.
Then it plants the seed at just the right depth for that seed to grow best.
It's like a tiny robot gardener for every single seed.
Right.
That's amazing. But what's the real benefit there? More crops.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But also, it cuts down on waste. No more just throwing seeds around and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Each seed goes exactly where it needs to be at the right depth.
So less waste, cheaper, and maybe even more crops. This is starting to sound really good. But what about like pests and weeds? AI can help with that too, right?
Of course, that's where AI spraying systems come in. John Deere's got another system, the See & Spray Ultimate Sprayer, and it's really cool. They've got cameras and sensors on the sprayer, and they can actually spot the weeds in the field.
No way.
Yeah, and then here's the kicker. It sprays herbicide only on the weeds.
Wait, so instead of spraying the whole field, they can target just the weeds. That's got to be way better for the environment, right?
Exactly. Less chemical runoff, protects insects, and of course farmers are using way less products, so it saves them money. It's win-win.
This is wild. It's like farming from a sci-fi movie. Self-driving tractors, robot weed killers, AI planters. It's a whole new world. And we're just getting started. What other AI stuff is out there, and what does it mean for the people who eat this food? Let's talk about that right after this.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've talked about all this cool AI tech, but let's get real. Does it actually help with those crazy high farming costs? Because cheaper costs for farmers would hopefully mean cheaper food for us, right?
Yeah, totally. And that's where the ARK report gets really interesting. They say AI and precision agriculture together could cut those costs for farms by over 22% globally.
22%. Wow, now we're talking. What's making that happen?
A lot of it's about using less stuff, like we said with the ExactShot planter.
Right.
Farmers use less seeds, fertilizer, chemicals, all that's expensive. ARK says maybe even a 27% drop.
27% just from being more efficient. That's huge. But what about the workers? Farming takes a lot of people, and that costs money too.
Yeah, you're right. Labor's a big expense, but that's where AI is a game changer, I think. Those self-driving tractors,
Yeah.
they can really cut labor costs. ARK actually estimates 85% less.
85%. That's incredible. It's not just about replacing jobs, though, is it? It's about making the jobs that are left easier and more efficient, I would think.
Exactly. Working smarter, not harder. And it's not just tractors. Think about the time saved, not spraying weeds or putting down fertilizer by hand. AI can do all that precisely and efficiently. Even fuel, repairs, electricity, the report mentions savings there too. It's really about making the whole farm run better.
Wow, AI is like a tune-up for the whole farm. But we've been talking about saving money. What about growing more food? We need to do that too, right? To feed everyone.
That's the key. And the cool thing is AI can help with both. This is where it gets really exciting, actually. Remember how we talked about crop yields, how they haven't really improved that much lately?
Yeah, they've been kind of stuck.
There's a huge difference between those average yields and what's actually possible.
Okay, now I'm really curious how big a difference.
Okay, so in 2022, the average corn yield in the U.S., it was about 180 bushels an acre. Not bad, but get this. The winner of the National Corn Growers Competition, they got 510 bushels an acre.
Wait, 510? That's almost 3 times more. How is that even possible?
It's tech and good farming practices all working together. Now, AI is not going to magically triple yields everywhere overnight.
Right.
But what that winning yield shows us is there's a ton of potential we're not tapping into yet.
So with AI, new types of seeds, better soil, maybe even things like gene editing,
Yeah.
we could grow way more food on the same land potentially.
Exactly. And that's really important when you think about all the challenges we're facing. More people, not enough resources, the climate changing, we got to grow more food, but sustainably, AI could be the way to do it.
It could make sure everyone has enough to eat, which is huge.
Yeah.
And it's not just about other countries, even here, you know. Imagine growing food closer to home, using less trucks and everything, fresher food for everyone.
Exactly. It's about a better food system for everyone involved.
So it's this future where tech and tradition work together to solve these big problems, right? It's pretty exciting.
It really is.
But as exciting as it is, how realistic is it that everyone's going to start using AI on their farms? Is that 5 years away, 10 years more? What needs to happen for this to actually work for all farmers?
Those are the million-dollar questions, and that's what we'll talk about next.
So we've talked about self-driving tractors, AI weed control. It's a lot. But the big question is, how fast can we actually make this happen? How long until this is just how farming works?
Right, because the sooner the better, I think.
Absolutely. And the ARK report, they actually have an estimate for that. They say 75 to 80% of farms around the world will be using this tech eventually.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It is. But that's not going to happen overnight, right? What's getting in the way? What are the roadblocks here?
Well, cost is a big one, like you said, especially for smaller farms. Even with these new ways of paying for it, AI is still an investment.
Yeah, sure.
And the technology itself, some of it's so new, there are going to be problems. Sensors might not work right, software glitches, that kind of thing.
Farmers need to know this stuff works.
Right.
Right. That it'll actually make their lives easier. But it's more than just the cost and the technology, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Farming's all about tradition, doing things the way they've always been done. Getting farmers, especially those who've been doing this their whole lives, to trust AI, that's not easy.
It's like convincing your grandpa to get on TikTok, right? It's a whole mindset shift.
Exactly.
But let's say we do figure it out. The price comes down, the tech gets better, farmers get on board. What does that world look like?
Okay, so imagine farms that are so fine-tuned, so efficient because of all this data. Less waste, lower costs, more food being produced. That's cheaper food for everyone, fewer resources used, better for the planet. It's how we feed everyone without, running out of stuff.
It's about making sure there's enough food for everybody. But it goes beyond that, doesn't it? This could change the whole system globally, right?
Totally. Like, think about food security, places in the world where people don't have enough to eat. AI could be huge there. They could grow more food locally, not be so dependent on other countries.
That's a really powerful idea.
It is.
And it's not just, developing countries. Imagine the impact here. Growing more food closer to where people live, less trucks, fresher food. It's a win-win.
Exactly. A better system for everyone.
So it's about using technology, but also keeping those traditions alive, finding a balance to solve these big problems. It's pretty amazing to think about.
It really is.
It makes you wonder if we can use AI to, like, optimize how we grow food. What else can we do? What other parts of our lives could look totally different?
That's the question, isn't it?
It really is. It's something to think about, and we'll keep digging into these ideas next time on The Deep Dive.